Women who are in healthy relationships after a toxic, abusive one. What was the biggest difference?
I feel valued, loved, supported, not afraid to open up or share.
Getting to feel finally safe.
The fact that he stays calm when I communicate my feelings.
I am so much more relaxed. I'm not having to constantly come up with a defense or justification for everything. I no longer worry about whether my partner is doing something out of genuine care or is manipulating me. I choose my own company and do things on my own without guilt. I can be myself, without being shamed or judged.
Safety, stability and confidence.
I feel safe, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually. I'm also a lot happier. I mean, I was without my boyfriend, too. But he adds more happiness into my life rather than adding in stress. I am not worried about ruining his day by mentioning I'm upset about something. If I mention I'm upset, listen, he respects that my job can be stressful. My ex never did because his job was so stressful. How could mine ever be? He helps clean up around the house. He cares about if my mood seems off. He tells me it's not my responsibility if he gets to work late when it would 100% be with my ex. Niceties I do for him don't turn into hard requirements. Doesn't hurt. My body was probably trying to tell me something before and I wasn't listening.
The person I'm currently dating doesn't have to be asked or begged to spend time with me. She does it on her own because she likes spending time with me.
Not walking on eggshells constantly. It was such a relief to not worry about what was going to set him off constantly.
I never get yelled at anymore. I don't have to cherry pick my words to avoid a blow-up. I just say what I want, how I want, and my BF never changes the topic by accusing me of having an.
I feel that after being in a damaging relationship, identifying the differences when my healthy relationship is at its most difficult shows the biggest when we do have an argument. I feel like everything will still be okay. I'm safe. He's safe. There's no sense of impending doom, no fear, no bullying or pettiness. We lay out our differences of opinion, thoughts and ideas for resolution, and when it's done, it's done. I'm not waiting for retaliation or a power play. When things are at their most difficult and I feel safe, loved and respected, then I know I'm with the right person.
He doesn't hit, abuse, manipulate, or otherwise abuse me.
I'm not shamed or blamed or feel needy when I bring up issues in the relationship. It feels more like an exchange where we try to resolve an issue together than a me versus him situation. He respects my boundaries. He's also constant with communication, supports me and celebrate my achievements.
I have an actual partner in life, not someone who I would have to constantly fight for myself with. It's a huge relief.
Not being so scared all the time. Scared to give bad news, scared to say no, scared to buy nice things, scared to ask for help. Walking on eggshells or the able to communicate in a healthy way, even if the subject is tense. I will say it takes years to undo that mindset. Though, I still sometimes shut down completely when I feel overwhelmed to talk about something. Even if it's something small. And it's been over 3 years since I left my ex.
I'm wondering if I'll ever get past the walking on eggshells you for sharing. Closing parenthesis. Hope you are at peace.
This sounds obvious, but honestly I didn't know that being in a relationship could add peace to my life. Because of my last toxic relationship for a while, I was convinced that I would never be more at peace than I was alone, and I was wrong. My partner now makes me feel so supported and safe. It's done a lot to improve both my mental health and even my relationship with myself. Like, he's so patient with me that made me start giving myself a little grace too.
My partner and I recently discussed this exact topic. Both of us came from toxic, and in his case, abusive, relationships. The biggest impact we've noticed is that we can comfortably communicate our feelings as we are feeling them. We don't feel the need to prep the conversation in our minds, watch out for eggshells, or anything negative. Hey, that thing you said hurt my feelings and here's why. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Here's what I meant. Resolved. Most importantly, when we communicate those things, the other person actually listens and enacts changes. We've also discovered, through this healthy communication, we both have more triggers than we previously realized. Or, some things that we Thought were triggers are actually just things we, at the individual level, need to grow through. Having a safe space to talk, and not be called crazy or it leading to a huge blown-up screaming match brings so much peace. We can have conflict without it ruining the whole day per week. Highly recommend.
Being around my healthy partner gives me energy and reduces around my abusive, toxic ex drained me of energy and increased stress. Sadly, it took me a really long time to realize that, but thankfully I did. I didn't fully realize it was an abusive relationship until a while after I had managed to properly end with so many things that are completely different, things I didn't see or realize were wrong while with my ex. It didn't get abusive overnight, it snuck up on me, as it does for so many. Now I keep being kind and mind blown over the things I put up with, the things I convinced myself were acceptable, the things I ignored and let go.
There are no actual fights. No screaming, no slammed doors, no running out of the house and driving off, etc. When disagreements, tough conversations happen, the vibe may be intense but it's never scary or harrowing. I never worry that he won't understand my POV or that I'll risk losing him when we butt heads. Sometimes we even hold hands when we argue, which is a grounding technique he taught me that blew my mind.
Everything is just easy. I can go out and do my own thing without worrying about my phone being blown up. I can actually have privacy and my own goals in life without suffocated. I actually enjoy my life now. I can talk about my feelings and be understood or at least considered. It's just so peaceful.
At first, it can feel boring. That's how it was with me. I was to chaos and toxicity, so when my ex-partner showed me kindness and stability, it felt boring and the butterflies, which I now recognize as uncomfortability, weren't really there. I just felt so comfortable with him. Looking back, it slowly stopped being healthy, though. And he never fully loved me the way I thought. Still the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. I'm still sad we couldn't work through the rougher bits.
Being able to talk about my issues, feelings and them not taking it as a personal attack, arguing. The problem is though I find myself oversharing and over-explaining everything now, so I'm trying to reel it in. Lol, previously my only options were to prepare for a nasty argument or suffer in silence. I've been free of that relationship over a year now and I still sometimes get triggered by certain things, but I've improved a lot.
The safety and security. 3 days after I met my now husband, I, foolishly as all accidentally poured boiling water straight from the onto his hand. You know what he did? He silently walked away for about 30 seconds. I heard him say, and at that moment was expecting him to absolutely lose his on me, scream at me, something, but no. He came back in the kitchen, laughing and said, "We are both so much smarter than that." And that was it. He never brought it up again, never made me feel terrible, didn't put all the blame on me, nothing. I knew in that moment, I was always safe. There's nothing like it.
The kindness shook me. I was to having someone either be mean or totally dismissive of me. It took a while to see there was no motive. Good people exist. We're no longer together, but remain in daily communication after 10 years of not seeing each other.
This is the one. It's so nice to just be.
One night early on in our relationship, I broke down because he didn't try to have with me before bed. All I could think about was that he didn't love me, didn't fancy me, was going to leave me. Turns out he remembered me saying a few hours earlier that I was tired. That is the moment I had waited all my life for. A man that respected me and took my needs into account too before initiating. I had never been able to say no before, let alone have someone that listened and understood that a tired woman would not want. I love him.
I love this question. But can we talk about how anxiety-inducing a healthy relationship after a toxic one can?
Greater than, having and relate hard to this one. Good for you, girl.
It is so sad that so many of us have to wait to be treated as human. Very happy for you. Less than 3.
Absolutely feel this. It's insane to think I used to live on that level of fight or flight all the time, dreading him coming home, and now never have to.